Got a tremendous race for their first year of their sponsorship. As you know, Lucas Adu is out of it, but Robert Widger takes the place of Joe Tizard on Norski, on Jim Colotti on Village King. A full list of runners and riders from Simon.
It's been won by some grand horses over the years, this race, the likes of Gay Trip, Bachelor's Hall, Half Free and Bradbury Star won it twice, Dublin Flyer in 1995 amongst them. They're headed by Majidoo, one of 3 runners for the Martin Pipe stable. Tom Scudamore claiming 5 off the top weight at 25 to 1. Celibate at 25, Noel Fahili claiming 3. Slaney Native and Adrian Maguire at 12 to 1. Red Marauder down from the north, Richard Guest in the saddle at 14 to 1. In at the top, A.D. Smith at 20s. The favourite, Lady Cricket, Blinkered, 4 to 1. The chosen mount of champion jockey Tony McCoy. Corniche at 8 to 1, ridden by Carl Llewellyn. Number 9 is Dvorsky, and Norman Williamson riding again for Venetia. Williams, the winning combination 12 months ago with the Outback Way, 11 to 2. Robbo, Blinkered, Alan Dempsey at 20 to 1. Village King, Robert Widger now at 10 to 1. Norski Lad and Joe Tizard are 14 to 1 chances. It's Matty Batchelor on number 13, Sky Cab at 25 to 1. Exit Swinger and Richard Johnson, 11 to 2. Feathered Leader, a 12 to 1 chance for Philip Carberry claiming 3. And at the bottom of the weights is Boardroom Shuffle at 16 to 1, ridden by Late Naspel.
It's the old story for punters: when in doubt, stick with McCoy and Pipe. Lady Cricket rock solid at the top of the market here at 4 to 1. And Dvorsky is slightly easy out to 11 to 2, as is Exit Swinger. That's the best price you've seen Exit Swinger today. But they don't want that one. They want Lady Cricket. Despite the slight drift, he's the solid one. Corniche 8 to 1. Village King 10s. Remember, that's the early office springer, the price-wise horse in from 22s. Slaney Native 12s, and a bit of support for Feathered Leader, 14 to 1, bar those.
The scene here being set, the horses beginning to come into the paddock. They'll all be here and waiting for us when you come back. Welcome back with the runners, but not the jockeys, in the paddock here at Cheltenham.
One who has just reached me is Philip Carberry. His dad was a pretty good jock, his brother's a pretty good jock, and, well, you're a pretty good jock. What about your chance here on Feathered Game?
Oh, we have a good enough chance to walk the course there. Probably just slightly a bit softer, but he's in good form anyway.
I was just talking to the man who looks after the course here. With all the rain, they've only had 3 millimetres of rain here, surprisingly.
Yeah. He runs well on good ground, but he ran well on soft enough ground there in 2 mile hurdle in Punchestown, which he ran well, so he's sparking anyway, so good.
How do you see the race going? Because he's got plenty of ability, this horse.
Yeah, he's plenty of ability, yeah. He usually looks as if he's going better than he is, but I think he's in great form, so this just depends on the pace, how they go, so we'll just see. Yeah.
I know they tend to sort of quicken it down the far side. Will you be sitting pretty, or will you be hopefully coming late?
Hopefully we'll just, if it's a nice pace, we'll just creep along. We'll just see. It just depends on the pace, really, yeah.
Well, it's good to have a Carberry here. How is your brother Paul? Because on his comeback ride, after being out for a few months with injury, he broke the old leg. What's the news on Paul?
Yeah, first ride back after another injury. His horse stumbled and he's broke his leg. And I don't think he's going to be out too long, so we'll just see anyway. He's getting by anyway.
And how's the old Grand National winner, Bobby Joe? What's the latest on him?
He's in good form. He was actually supposed to run in Cheltenham, but I think he might go to Aintree next week. We'll just see. He's good form now.
Well, we hope you enjoy your ride. Regards to Dan when you get back home.
Thanks, brilliant.
Oh, hang on, we got another jockey. Oh, we did have Richard Johnson, but he's rushed up. Thank you. Good luck.
Yeah, really good young lad. I think he's looking forward to riding him. This is the top weight Majidoo. He tried at all types of trips last year. I think he's a huge price, 25 to 1 for what he's done. Tom Scudamore takes a useful £5 off his back, brings him down to 11 stone 5, and he runs well fresh.
Celibate is one of 7 course winners in the field, but you can't get away from the fact that most of his best form is over shorter trips than this. He ran a pretty good race last time out, and just like John said about Majidoo, his odds are bigger than his chance in the race, but you still think there'll be 1 or 2 too good for him.
This is Slaney Native. The rain's come in time for this horse. He's a big, grand type of animal. Ran a good race behind 2 Chef last season, and he's got a definite chance.
Red Marauders, a horse who lost his way last season after a good start at Weatherby, was unbeaten the season before that, has had injury problems, but a lot of natural talent, warmed up over hurdles about 6 weeks ago, and if he takes to the fences again, which he didn't last year, second half of last year, not out of it.
Yeah, he's not a natural jumper, but he likes to come from off the pace, and Richard Guest, who rides him, will be just letting him find his feet a little bit. He looked a bit sore to me when we watched him win over hurdles at Market Raisin, and I think this rain will be a help to him. Most of the horses in the paddock now. And A.D. Smith on board in at the top. He was disappointing in this race last year. I thought he had a great chance. But conversely to the likes of Slaney Native and Majidoo, he's much happier when he's racing on top of the ground.
On the other hand, Tony McCoy, who rides Lady Cricket, is on a horse who's much better with plenty of give in the ground, and it was far too fast for her when she ran in the Sun Alliance here on her last start. She is a bit of a moody old cuss, but she's got lots of natural ability, and if she gets off to a good start, she could prove very hard to beat here, especially now we've had some rain.
Yeah, she's a thorough stayer, and I think 2 miles, 4.5 furlongs is just about the minimum for her. Tony McCoy will be hoping they go a good gallop. And this is Carlo Ellen, Corniche, and the majority of these runners are barely out of novice status, and of those that I've seen, this horse jumps the best. He really enjoys his job, and he's one of the few that you can go and get half a length if you want it.
Davosky attracted plenty of money during the week, but whilst he definitely has a decent chance, you have to say his lack of experience is striking here. Won 2 small field chases, and whilst he's got lots of ability, he's got plenty to prove in the jumping department.
This is Robbo, bit of a character. Pulled himself up at Newcastle when he looked like winning last year. He won a couple of races. He's the horse who comes from off the pace. Alan Dempsey gets on well with him. He's had a warm-up on the flat, so he should be fit.
Village King, ridden by Robert Widger, carries famous colours, those made famous by Beulah. Now this horse is an animal who's gone very well fresh in the past, won first time out the last 2 seasons, lost his way in the second half of last year, well handicapped now and the stable in form.
Yeah, really underrated jockey, Robert Widger. Get nearly the opportunities that he deserves.
Martin Pipes with us. We were talking on the morning line of whether Tony McCoy's picked right. You'd be upset if he hasn't picked right this time.
Well, we've had 2 winners so far, so Thomas Kilmer rode a good race in the last race. Won nicely. This is a tough race, isn't it? Very tough.
What about Majidoo that Tom rides?
Yes, nice horse. Jumps to the left, unfortunately, so that's why he's got to go left-handed. He's got a chance, but very tough competitive race, don't you think?
I can say, but Lady Cricket, just
No.
that'd be a very important phone call, that Martin, no? Lady Cricket, she did run badly though here last time.
Forget that. It's over a longer trip, 3 miles. Forget that. I think she'll go well. Tony's picked her. He's a good judge. He's been down schooling her. She jumps well. I think she's improved this year. A nice mare. That was one I'd have to pick of the 3 of my 3 if I had to pick one.
And Richard Johnson on the other one, Easy Swinger?
Yes. Exit Swinger. Nice horse. Jumps well. Just 1 chase win, but if you look at the form, there's no form behind it at Sandown. That's the only thing. But he does creep in now the weights have gone up. Does creep in with 10-4, so he's got a chance.
How much of a surprise would it be if Lady Cricket was beaten by the others?
There's plenty of other horses in the race. They've got good chances. Davosky's well handicapped. But there's plenty of horses in the race. It's always a surprise whatever wins. Let's hope it's one of mine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, the punters have had a look at this, and they've looked at the first 3, and they've filed it under too difficult and too short. Lady Cricket on the drift now, out from 9-2 to 5-1. Davosky's a 6-1 chance. They can't give Exit Swinger around, out away. 7-1 now, Exit Swinger. Support for those looking for the sort of each-way option. Slaney Native, there's money for that. Village King into 8s. This sustained gamble, a terrible blow to the bookies if Village King rules the roost.
So the parade, 18-year-old Tom Scudamore on Matador, the outside of the Martin Pipe trio, but dangerous. Young Philip Carberry on Ireland's feathered leader, who won well last time and has the form to be a major factor. Finally, Leighton Aspel on the brilliant but physically troubled Boardroom Shuffle. His promise was power. This horse will be a certainty.
Latest betting on this Thomas Pink Gold Cup, first major chase of the National Hunt season. Lady Cricket heading the market, but she's weak, out to 5 to 1 from 7 to 2. Davosky at 6 to 1. Exit Swinger on the drift, out to 7s from 5s at 8 to 1. Corniche Money for Village King into 8 to 1. At 12, Slaney Native, Norsky Lad and Feathered Leader. 14's Red Marauder along with Boardroom Shuffle. In at the top and Robbo at 20s. At 25, Sky Cab. Outsider Celibate and Majidoo are both 33 to 1.
Well, Mick, you know most of these far better than any of us. If you to nail you to one, which would it be?
I think, you know, every time I look at the 2 pages where the articles are in, I get more confused. You know, I think this is a very, very tight
We're looking
race.
to you to enlighten us.
Yeah, well, I think that Slaney Native is, you know, a very, very good horse that handles the ground. He comes here in good form. He's got form in big races, which is something you've got to look for. And I think he is a, you know, a speculative selection.
So you think it's a very hard race to be confident?
I really do. I think that, you know, this is as tight a race as this has been for many a year.
Well, I must be honest with you. I didn't know you thought that, but I said to John before racing today, I had plenty of time to look at this, and I found it a really hard one to call. What about you, John?
Well, I'd like to see Exit Swinger win for the sake of Chris Fleet's dad, Ron. I know he's backed him not too well at the moment, so they'll give him a bit of a lift. But personally, I think that it'd be foolish to rule out Majidoo. There are a lot of novices in this event. He's not always the best jumper in the world, but he's schooled well for Tom Scudamore in the week. He takes £5 off his back, and I thought he was a big price. But let's move through the ones that we hadn't seen in close-up, beginning with Norsky Lad, who was in cracking form the start of the season. He got a lot of weight when he beat Lord Noley at Kempton, but then just lost his way and his form tailed off a bit. But he looks wonderful this afternoon.
Well, he heard from Brough that Sky Cab's reins broke on his reappearance. It was 3 out. That's a fair way from home at Stratford, but he was travelling well. He handles the ground, and like 1 or 2 here, he's overpriced.
Matt Batchelor said he was travelling equally as well as Davosky at Stratford when that happened. There is Exit Swinger. Quite lightly raced over fences. He was a winner in France before he came to Martin Pipe. Not all that big. And he's one of 3 Martin Pipe runners.
And number 15, Feathered Leader, a horse who's promised to be a good horse over fences on a number of occasions, never really made it. His most recent one was over hurdles. He's got stacks of natural talent, but not an easy ride.
Fine boardroom shuffle. Leighton Aspel on board this horse when he ran here at the last meeting. Used to break blood vessels. He didn't last time out. I know Mick thinks that the ground's a little bit on the soft side for him, but he's so well treated on some of his form that surely must take a hand in the finish. But they're just about underway. Let's join Simon.
Jump away for this Thomas Pink Gold Cup. Celibate, one of the first to bound away from the gate with Sky Cab and Norski Lad and Village King on the inside. They rise at the first, Slaney Native out wide, and they're all safely over the first with Feathered Leader just the back marker, and one from last is Red Marauder, and Exit Swinger is also held up towards the rear. Over the second, Celibate, a big jump from Sky Cab on his inside. Then in third is Norski Lad in the noseband. Village King towards the inside, towards the right. Then out wide is Corniche in the yellow with the black sash. And in a noseband is Slaney Native. They're followed by In at the top and Majidoo on the inside. Then Exit Swinger, boardroom shuffle, a terrible mistake there. Leighton Aspel had absolutely no chance. So boardroom shuffle is the first to go as they make the left-hand turn at the bottom end of the course. Leighton's quickly up on his feet after that early exit, and it's Corniche that's come through to take over now from Celibate in second, and they seem to be going a strong pace here. Norski Lad, Slaney Native, a third and fourth. Sky Cab is next, and then Village King, and then at the top of Majidoo, followed by Exit Swinger as we see them over the next. Great jump by Corniche in front. Slight mistake by Norski Lad. Mistake by Dvorsky towards the rear there. One from last at the moment, Dvorsky, and clouted that one hard. At the next plain fence, Corniche with a clear advantage over Celibate in second place. Sky Cab on the inside and Slaney Native. And then Village King from Norski Lad. Red Marauder and Exit Swinger. With back on the inside to Majidoo, Robbo towards the back, Lady Cricket and Tony McCoy getting plenty of coverage. Blue headgear about 3 or 4 from the end. The back two are Dvorsky and Feathered Leader. But we've got a hare in front here. Corniche, he's gone 10 clear as they cross the fence in front of the stand. Corniche has gotten in a bit close to it this time, but found plenty of air and leads by only 6 passing the stands now. From Celibate in second and Sky Cab in third. Slaney Native is fourth as they race uphill towards another plain one. Back on the inside to Red Marauder and then Norski Lad, and in at the top an Exit Swinger, Lady Cricket, ridden with patience. Village King, Robbo. On the inside is Majidoo. Dvorsky trying to get a bit closer onto the heels of the leading bunch. A blunder in rear by Feathered Leader. They swing into the back straight then and on, slightly downhill now towards fence number 8 of the 15, and it's Corniche and Carl Llewellyn. Carl, who won this race on Tipping Tim a few years back, he continues to make the running. From Sky Cab disputing second place with Exit Swinger having made good headway. Striped Jacket, look at Lady Cricket also getting into the race now. In at the top on the inside, Lady Cricket going off the 5-1 favourite as they approach the water jump, and still Corniche shows them the way. 4 lengths to Exit Swinger in second. Sky Cab is next. Lady Cricket, Slaney Native. Norski Lad just being pushed along, losing his position slightly. Red Marauder is making headway, and Dvorsky has also improved on the outside. Over the next open ditch, the leaders land safely over that. Village King, the big gamble this morning, is trailing at the moment towards the rear and was none too fluent over that ditch as they approach the next plain one. And Corniche put in a good jump there from Exit Swinger in second place under Richard Johnson. Dvorsky and Norman Williamson going up third on the outside of Tony McCoy and Lady Cricket, with Sky Cab right there on the inside still. Red Marauder is sixth, then Slaney Native, and in at the top as they approach this big open ditch at the top of the hill, and Corniche jumps it well, but is being very closely attended now by several others, as Slaney Native made a mistake there, and Lady Cricket and Exit Swinger, the 2 Martin Pipe runners, have come there very strongly. Dvorsky gets the slap down the neck on the outside, and the 3 market leaders have gone on into a clear lead as they make the top turn in the Thomas Pink Gold Cup and run downhill to the final 3 fences. And it's Lady Cricket in the blue headgear, Dvorsky upside,
Exit Swinger in behind them in third, then Sky Cab and Red Marauder with Feathered Leader running on a bit from the rear. This is 3 out. Lady Cricket, a good jump under the champion jockey from Davoski, Exit Swinger and Richard Johnson, McCoy's big rival now, coming through to take second position as they run towards the second last fence. They're clear of Red Marauder back in fourth and Feathered Leader. Over 2 out and Exit Swinger, a mistake there, untidy on landing, and Lady Cricket turns for home with a youthful looking lead and the hill to climb. Lady Cricket by 6 to 7 lengths over Exit Swinger. Martin Pipe 1-2 at the moment. Davoski back in third, then Red Marauder, Feathered Leader, and in at the top. The rest are well beaten off. Closing to the final fence then is Lady Cricket and Tony McCoy. She got in a bit close, but she's safely over. She leads by 6 lengths to Exit Swinger, then Davoski, Feathered Leader, and Red Marauder. And up the final punishing climb is Lady Cricket running loose here in the Thomas Pink Gold Cup. She's going to win it in tremendous style under Tony McCoy. Lady Cricket is the winner. In second place, Exit Swinger. Feathered Leader stayed on for third. Then Majidoo and Red Marauder disputing fourth place. So all the pipe runners performing with tremendous credit. Davoski in at the top, Robbo, then Norski Lad, Village King, Sky Cab, and then a long break to Corniche, who made a lot of the early running but just didn't get home. Pulling up Celibate and Slaney Native. Tony McCoy has chosen correctly here, and a tremendous run continuing for the Martin Pipe team. Martin, who sent out Challenger to Luck to win in 1996 in these colours, and in 1998 Cypher Malta. Again, a magnificent success for the winning owner David Johnson, trainer Martin Pipe, and the champ on board. And she had it won rounding the home turn. There was a bad mistake from Exit Swinger at the second last, but it made no difference to the result here. He just had to get her over this final fence, Lady Cricket. She brushed through the top of it, but there was never any question that she was going to fall. And whereas there were a lot of tired horses behind, this was a mare who had plenty of spirit left in her up the final climb, and continuing a magnificent day here for trainer Martin Pipe. That's 3 on the card so far.
Martin Pipe is with me, first, second and fourth, I think.
That's not bad then, is it?
Not bad. First and there was that, but that is...
And Russ said what would happen, we were going to worry about Lady Cricket, but she jumped well and kept going. Fantastic, really good.
Running away down the hill.
Yes. So was the other one going well, Exit Swinger.
Exactly.
Great to have the 1-2 and the Thomas Pink.
Hey, that's fantastic. Now
I
tell
like
us...
your shirt for Thomas Pink.
Now tell us, who was... I think you can... Tell us...
I want to look like you, don't I?
I love
I want
it.
to look like you.
But tell us, really, who made the decision? Was it you? Did you sit down at breakfast with the champ or what?
AP chose.
Did he?
AP chose Lady Cricket. As I said, she schooled very well at home, jumped very well, and she seems to thrive.
Yeah.
Seems to thrive and look well.
Yeah.
We were delighted with the way she was going. Also delighted with Exit Swinger, mine.
Yes. Run a super run.
My only danger was I had 2 winners already. I didn't think I could have another one.
3 winners in a day, first, second and fourth. You deserve a new shirt.
I think I train these. David Pipe says he trains all the winners, but while I've been away, but I think these might be down to me.
Father's back. Well done, Father.
Thank you.
Well done.
And on the morning.
And on the morning,
AP chose, says Martin Pipe, and the punters chose AP. Punching there as he crossed the line. The great reception, he comes back in front of the stands. The 5-1 favourite has won the inaugural Thomas Pink Gold Cup. And punters in doubt, they stayed with the Pipe and the champion jockey, and they've had a result. Second, Exit Swinger, they could not give it away in the market. Open Fires drifted out to 8-1. Feathered Leader stuck on at 12 to be third. But the first major betting chase of the season has gone to the Pipe-McCoy combination. The punters have had a result, and there'll be some very cross bookies and a good price on course. Bad result in the shops, 5-1. You couldn't beat fours this morning.
Well, an exuberant Tony McCoy who's been wasting hard because he's a lot of work to do later in the day. Totally committed to his sport. And I think when the boys take you through the closing stages in a moment or two, you'll see a rare blemish in the style stakes with Tony.
It's the best I've seen her jump. I mean, he does make horses go about their business, but this was the best that I've seen her operate. And always travelling well. What a great race it was at the top of the hill. We had old Corniche just beginning to get tired, but there were 3 of them running away at the top of the hill. This fella, Exit Swinger and Davoski. But going down to the last, Tony's had a look over his shoulder. He knows that all he's got to do is get over this, and just have a look at his right foot in the iron. He's so keen to get over it, almost jumps himself out, Mick.
Yeah, you can see he's let it pop, and when he's done that, the momentum has taken his leg back, but he's lost his iron, and thankfully for him, he was able to get it back. Nobody anywhere near him.
There's a sign of how tightly he sits, because a lot of jockeys would have fallen off, but he does grip really firmly with his legs, keeps this horse going. And if he looked particularly pumped up following this success, you get a better view of it from here. Not sure whether it actually just slips out or what happens.
He actually kicks it out himself, I think. You'll watch him, his leg almost goes back now. Watch. Jump.
Prize for artistic impression. I think it's just a little bit muddy underneath.
John, that takes amazing strength and balance, doesn't it? You weren't joking when you said a lot of people would have fallen off.
Yeah, well, she kept going straight, so, he'd have been hard-pressed to have fallen off, but if she just kicked it and given it a bit of a nudge, it might have been a different story. But that wasn't the case.
You can see this means a hell of a lot to Tony. I travelled racing with him today, and he was genuinely worried that he was on the wrong one, but he felt in himself that this was the right horse to be on the day, and I'm very pleased for him that he's got it right.
And having picked the wrong horse in the last race.
Yeah. Nothing irks him more. It would have been even more painful if it had been Richard Johnson riding Medieval.
Lady Cricket getting well-deserved congratulations, and return 5-1 on the books, paying £5.70 on the toe. Places 3.30, 3.90 and 3.10. Exacta £38.10. Straight forecast £38.23. Martin Pipe had first, second and fifth. Majidoo was just edged out of